Hi, Hannah. Sorry I'm getting back to you so late. I was hoping to get this to you last night, but I got home in time, and before I fell asleep, I did this problem, this really big problem, and I thought I'd make you a video today, but I was gone this morning. So I'm going to step back a step and just make sure that you're good with what zeros are and how to get them. This is about as simple as it gets. This is the zeros of a basic parabola. Remember a parabola. Parabola looks like this. All right? I have to factor this to find the zeros. I need to find two numbers that multiply together to give me -8 and add together to give me -4. And you remember how here off to the side we always made a whole list, but I'm just going to go straight to it. The numbers I'm looking for is -4 and +2. If -4 times 2 is -8, -4 plus 2 is -2. All right, and as you remember, hope I'm not insulting your intelligence with this, it looks like this. Okay, all right, that's the equations, but that's not your zeros. The zeros to this equation, where this touches where this parabola touches the line, is you have to set these to 0. X minus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. And this is important. X equals -2, x equals 4. Right? These are your zeros. All right? All this means is on a line, okay, this passes by at a 4, and this passes by at a -2. So that's your zeros to this. All right, now this is where this gets a little confusing. You have to deal with two things that you've worked with in the past, synthetic division and, well, mainly just synthetic division. All right, here's the numbers that this could be. All right, the numbers you might have to work with. You use the coefficient to the 2 and this 45. That's important because all the multiples of 45, watch what I do here. Just you'll catch on. Don't stress over this now. 45, 15 is a multiple. Can be divided into it. Let's see, 9, 5, 3, and 1. 45, yep, all those numbers can be divided into that. 2, there's only two numbers that can be divided into it, 2 and 1. And you have to remember also, there's this 45 can also be -45. The reason I'm showing you this is, and this isn't always a rule, most of the time you're going to find most of these using these numbers here, right? Because 1 divided by 1 is 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3. 5 divided by 1 is 5. -1 divided by 1 is -1. -3 divided by 1 is -3. -5. It's usually going to be one of these numbers. All right? Don't stress about that right now. All right. Almost always everybody starts out by trying this to see if 1 works. All right? We had on those I showed you. For the 45, 1 was a factor of 45, and 1 was of 2. So most people try 1 and -1 first, right? Because 1 over 1 equals 1, and -1 over 1 equals 1. All right? So, like I said, don't stress about this now. Always try 1 first, though. One's a factor of everything, so try your 1s first. All right, here's what we've got. Synthetic division, and I know you haven't did this in a while, so we'll just put a 1 up there. 2, 9, -87, -49, and 45. All right. The line here, we always seed this by bringing down the 2. All right. So remember, it's multiplication, add, multiplication, add. 1 times 2 is 2. Add those together, we get 11. Right? 1 1 times 11 is 11. We add those together, we get negative 76. 1 times negative 76 is negative 76. Right? We add those together, we get negative 125. All right? 1 times negative 125 is negative 125. All right? We add those together. You can see when you add these together, you don't get 0. All right? The answer there is going to be 80. All right? Let's see, negative 80. That's not what we want. This is the remainder here. We want it to be 0. So this 1 does not work as a 0. Right? Let's try negative 1. And I would say on most of these problems, you're going to find that 1 or negative 1 works. Not a promise, but it's pretty much most of the time. Negative 1, all right? It's going to be 2, 9, negative 87, negative 49, 45. All right, let's do this. We bring the 2 down. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. That gives us 7 here when we add them together. 1 times negative 7, all right? 1 times 7 gives us negative 7. We add those together, we get minus 94. Negative 1 times negative 94 gives us positive 94. Add those together, we get 45. All right? Negative 1 times 45 gives us negative 45. Add those together, we get 0. That's what you want, a 0 remainder. That means it worked out perfect. That means negative 1 is the 0. Okay? That's going to be in your answer. Negative 1 is the 0. All right? But you have to remember, in the equation, it's going to look like this. X plus 1. Because x plus 1 equals 0. Then when you subtract that, you get x equals negative 1. All right, now we're going on to the next one. We have to get 4 of these for this. All right, you notice how this has got shorter. We've got the 2, the 7, the negative 94, and the 45. All right, what are we going to check next? If you remember the list of numbers with 45, all right, I could go ahead and try the 3 next. Remember the list was, let me put it over here, was 1, 3, 5, 9, 15, 45. The list, we could go ahead and try the 3s, but I can go ahead and tell you, I guessed that this would be a 5. So that's what we're going to try next. We're going to try a 5 in here. Okay, we're trying for the next pair. So let's put a 5 in here. All right. I draw this line here. Right. Okay, drop down 2. 5 times 2 is 10. All right. 7 plus 10 is 17. 5 times 17 is 85. Add those together and I get negative 9. 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. Add those together and I get a 0. So I've got my second 0. The first one was negative 1. The second one is 5. Right? And remember, that'll look like this. X minus 5. Remember, make it to 0. All right, so we've got 2 of the zeros now. We've got negative 1 and we've got 5. I'm going to do some erasing. The numbers that I need to take over with me, right? Remember, this here, I've got too much going on here, right? This is the 0, right? So the only ones I take for my next division is going to be 2, 17, and negative 9. All right, here's our zeros. These are the 2 that we've got. These 2 are already good. We just got to find 2 more. Now we're getting down to something you know how to do, and that's just factor something like this. All right. This 2 means 2x squared. This 17 means 17x, and this minus 9 means minus 9. You know how to factor this. All right. I know this is throwing something else at you, but this is something you've done before. All right. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Right? Okay. We have to do the boxes. All right. Negative 18. We got to find two numbers that multiply together to give us negative 18. Multiply to give us negative 18, but add together to give us 17. All right. This one's actually pretty easy, because if it's 18 and negative 1, right? 18 times negative 1 equals negative 18, right? But if you add them together, you get positive 17. All right, I hope you remember this, but these go in the box. I just put this 18x negative 1, so I just make this negative x. This comes down 2, right? This negative 9 comes down here. We put it in there. All right, now we have to solve. Oh, I'm sorry. This is x squared. Right. The biggest thing that factors out of 2x squared and 18x is 2x. The biggest number that comes out of negative x and negative 9 is minus 1. All right, let's see, 2x, now I'm going up and down. 2x squared minus x, all right? The biggest number that comes out of both of those is x, all right? And 18 and negative 9 is going to be, biggest number that comes out of both of those is a positive 9. All right, so this is 2x plus 1, or I'm sorry, I made a mistake. 2x minus 1, and this is going to be x plus 9. Let's double check these. X times 2x equals 2x squared. 9 times 2x equals 18x. 9 times negative 1 equals negative 9. X times negative 1 equals negative x. All right. So now all we have to do is solve for those. Let me erase these. X minus 1 equals 0. We've got to make them the zeros now. Don't forget to do the zeros. Equals 0. So on this one, we add 1 to both sides. 2x equals 1. We divide both sides by half, or by 2. I mean, divide by 2. We get this one is going to be 1/2. Right. This one's pretty cut and dry. Subtract 9 from both sides. You get x equals negative 9. So now we've got our 4 zeros. Okay, this one equals 1/2, and this one equals negative 9. If we wrote that out, it's going to look like this: x plus 2, x plus 1, x minus 5. Let's see, x minus 1/2 and x plus 9. But here's the zeros, and this would be your answer. So there's a lot of steps. There's some guessing that goes on, but just take your time and do the synthetic division. And once you divide and you finally get on the first two levels, get to one that equals 0, you've got your number. Watch this a couple times, and if you still don't get it, let me know, and I'll make another video.